Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
Is your cup full or empty, my friend? That is the question. Is your cup full or is it empty? In order to learn the things that I've learned, today I had to empty my cup. I had to learn to release all I knew. I had to learn to unlearn so that I could relearn. I had to learn to deprogram so that I could reprogram. There's a story that I love about a philosopher and a Zen master. The philosopher comes to the Zen master and asks him to teach him what he knows of the art of Zen. And as he stays at his estate, he sits down for tea. And the Zen master starts pouring tea into his cup. And after a while, the Zen master continues to pour the tea into his cup. And all of a sudden, the tea starts to overflow. It starts to rush over. And the philosopher looks and sees that the tea is rushing. The cup is runneth over. And he's exclaiming like, stop, it's too much. it's too much tea. What are you doing? Right? But the Zen master continues to pour. Finally, after it spills on the floor, he stops pouring the tea. And the philosopher asks, what is the meaning of this? The Zen master replies, how can I teach you if you do not first empty your cup? How can we learn, my friend, if we do not first empty our cup? You know, in my opinion, one of the best ways to acquire wisdom is by asking questions. I believe that you can tell a smart person by their answers, but you can always tell a wise person by their questions. It actually takes a humble and wise person to ask a question anyway, because when we ask, we don't exist for that moment. We are relinquishing the floor, the air to the next person. We are saying in that moment that we don't know everything. In the act of asking, you are saying that you don't know everything. But you're putting yourself in the background. You don't exist when you ask. You allow the other person to give their opinion. Many people are afraid to ask because essentially they are afraid to die to their old way of thinking, which they have held on to for so long. That is their identity. They feel if they ask that they will not exist. And this is at a subconscious level, I believe. But it puts you in the best position to learn. Because we understand that we may know more than a person, but there's always a person that knows more than us. And even if we feel that we know more than someone, odds are they know more than us in some areas. So there is nothing that we cannot learn from another person. There's always something that we can learn from someone else. The one who asks a question is a fool for 5 minutes, but the one who never asks is a fool for a lifetime. Are you afraid to ask questions, my friend? Have no fear. Lend a listening ear to your companion, to a partner, to someone else, to a stranger even. Be willing to ask. Be willing to find out. When you ask questions, it is like gaining an unfair advantage on those who are unwilling to relinquish their status and ask questions. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, that is the Open Palm podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. The Open Palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. I pray that you did receive a wonderful message from this episode today, and that you would share it with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing, asking questions just like you and becoming their greatest version. Pay it forward today so many others will be able to hear this message. Others who are unafraid to ask and not concerned with status. For we know that status is an acronym, meaning still too arrogant to understand success. Many have asked how they can support the podcast. You can definitely support it, my friend, by becoming a supporter. And if you did resonate and gain value, then I invite you to open your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw. And clicking that little support button there is much appreciated, my friend, where even $1 goes a long way to making a difference. And I do appreciate all the people who have donated thus far. Thank you to all the podcast supporters who continue to donate and continue to support the program. Even taking just a moment of your time, my friend, to give this a positive rating on whatever platform that you have chosen to listen to it is much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. And as always, have a blessed day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Hey there, my friend. So you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.